This afternoon, you join me in a 1957 Chrysler 300C convertible. And it's not a car, it's a ship. It's not in a class of one, really. If you've driven late 50s Cadillacs, they're just as big as this. Comes with the territory, I suppose. Mid-late 50s styling excess. It's fantastic to see. This is my first time in one of these cars, and when you think about how few of them they made, it starts to make sense why it's been so long doing this, and I haven't come across one. 484 convertibles. You're almost 5 times as likely to see a hardtop as one of these. I think they made 1,900 and some of those. So a really rare car, and they were expensive as well. Pretty well equipped in here. Obviously, you get a heater, a radio, push button, torque flight 3-speed auto, a power operated convertible top, 4 electric windows, and a 392 big block up front with twin 4-barrel carbs. quite a lot of power. It's rated 375 horsepower in this. Which is a lot, even for a car this size. The previous owner of this car picked it up in, I believe, 1997. Full project status. We have a full photo gallery showing the way the car came to him and all the work that he did to it. He did the body work himself. He sent it out for paint. If memory serves, the engine that was in the car was seized, and I don't think it was the correct one anyway, so he sourced the correct 392. Had that rebuilt by a local machine shop. And he did a really nice job with this car. Had all new interior, black on tan color combination. It was a slow process, the restoration. He only finished it about 7 years ago. So most of his ownership of this car was just building it. And he did it as faithfully as he could. It's finished very well. One little modification is that he added an electric fuel pump to sort of help with cold starting. But it's not an on-off switch. It's just a button that you have to hold down, and it's down here, and it's perfectly hidden. You won't be able to see it unless I tell you where it is. But really thoughtful, forward thinking on his part for doing that. In our experience, I don't really need it. It starts happily, hot or cold, on the mechanical fuel pump. But it's a nice thing to have. It goes down the road nicely with a small proviso for bias ply tires. I'm on these country roads at the moment, so if you see me doing a lot of steering input, it has more to do with the roads that I'm on than it does the car itself. But it is still, it's a 50s car with power steering on bias ply tires, so you do have to do a little bit of back and forth just to go in a straight line. It just comes with the territory. The power windows work beautifully. The electric top works very nicely. If you drive these cars a lot, you tend to forget that you're in something quite distinctive, and you always wonder why people are staring at you, and then you get out of the car and then you remember why people are staring at you. Or calling out from their bicycles or from inside their cars sometimes. Quite the event. I've sat in horrible traffic in the glaring sunshine in this thing. The temperature gauge never moves from beyond where it currently is, about halfway up the dial, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, this will idle in the heat all day long. So if you've been looking for one of these, they don't come up very often. This is a really nice example. It's only covered about 500 miles since he completed the build, so it's very fresh. There's no signs of age or anything like that. There's no paint cracking, no paint lifting, nothing of the sort. It's a really nice car.